Okay, so today's lesson is about the present perfect simple. The present perfect simple is one of the most confusing tenses for students because when they study it and they want to understand it in their own language, which is Arabic or French, they get confused. They say why the present perfect is called present perfect, but it talks about the past. So let me give you two examples to make the picture clear. If a person says, I changed my car 2 years ago. Let me ask you a question. When did the person change his car? You can say 2 years ago. So you can answer the question of when. When did the action happen of changing the car? The action of changing the car happened 2 years ago. Now let's move on to the second example. One day you meet one of your friends and your friend seems very happy. You ask a question, why? Why are you happy? Your friend may say, I'm happy because I have bought a very nice phone. So when did your friend buy the phone? Do you know? Of course you can't know. You can know that the phone is still new and it is the cause of your friend's happiness. So the action happened sometime in the past, which is not definite, but it has an effect on your person's mentality and mood, which is of course happiness. So the present perfect simple is similar to the past simple because they both talk about the past, but the past simple, the question when is clear, you can answer this question, but the present perfect simple, we talk about the experience, what happened, but not when it happened. Okay, so going back to the form of the present perfect simple as a quick review, because I'm sure you have seen it before. So the present perfect simple has the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. For I and you, they take the auxiliary have, but for singular they take has, and for the plural they take the auxiliary have. Now, the third form of the past participle. You may have heard of the list of the irregular verbs and the list of regular verbs. If the verb is regular, like play, like visit, like watch, they are going to take ed at the end, like I have watched, I have played, I have visited. But if the verb is irregular, like go, like be, like see, like go, these verbs are irregular. For example, she has been, the verb be. She has gone, the verb go. She has seen, the verb see. She has left, the verb leave. So if you are not sure about if the verb is regular or irregular, you check a dictionary or you check the list at the end of your books. Okay, so this is a very quick exercise to help you practice this form of have or has and past participle. So I not work today. So I and you take have. It's a negative form, so we should say I haven't worked today, and work is a regular verb. We buy a new lamp. We won't buy a new one because we buy a new lamp. We should say we have. Buy is an irregular verb. So if you don't know it, you check the list of the verbs. You should find we have bought a new lamp. 3. We not plan our holiday yet. A moment later, we're going to focus on the adverbs and the words and the expressions that show the present perfect simple within a sentence. And one of them is yet. So we not plan our holiday yet. We should say we have or has. What goes with the we as a plural? So we say we have not planned our holiday yet. Where you be? Where you be? Do we say where have you been or where has you been? What goes with you? He has or have. Of course, we need the auxiliary, which is have. So where have you been? 5. He writes 5 letters. He is singular, so it should take the auxiliary has, which is singular. And the past participle of write is written. So he has written 5 letters. Number 6, she not see him for a long time. She not see him for a long time. And please remember the expression for, we will see it in a moment. So she has not, or she hasn't seen him for a long time. 7, you be at school. you be at school. Number 4 and 7 are similar. So we say, have you been at school? A question. Have you been today at school? Say yes, I have been, or no, I haven't been there. 8. School not start yet. School not start. School is singular because we can replace it by it, and start is a regular verb. So school hasn't started yet. 9. He speak to the boss. He speak to the boss. This is an interrogative sentence. So we should say, he, inversion of the subject, has he spoken to the boss? Has he spoken to his boss? And the last one we have no, he not have the time yet. No, he not have the time yet. Of course we should say he hasn't had time yet. So we say no, he hasn't had the time yet. Next, so these are the most common. Of course there are more, but today we focus on these 5 expressions, which are for, since, just, already, and yet. So we will stop at these words and explain them quickly before we practice them on some activities. Because today's lesson is for the practice, not for the lesson. Okay, for expresses how long an action has taken place. It's usually followed by a period of time, like for example, for 2 years, for 3 hours, or for a week. Next we have since. Since shows that an action started in the past and still goes on. It is usually followed by a specific time, like for example, since 2000, since last September, or since I was a kid. I have lived in this house since I was a kid. That means I'm still living in the same house. Just shows that an action or an experience, something that happened to you in the past, is still new. But the time is not definite. Remember, if I say I have just moved to this house, moving to this house is a new experience, but you still can't know when I exactly came to this house. Next we have already. Already shows that the action has happened in the past. It is a past experience. It happened before. But the time of the event is not definite. When of course cannot be answered. The question of when can't be answered. I have already seen this film. When did I see it? You can't say. I have already tasted this food. When did I taste it for the first time? You can't say. So remember, the experience is more important than the event or the time. Yet is used with negative to show that an action hasn't happened yet. We are expecting it to happen, or it has. We use it to ask a question, to say if you want to know if an action has happened or not yet, because you are expecting it to happen. Has my father come yet? I'm waiting for him to come. So if your father is already in the house, maybe your brother or sister may say, yes, he has already come. But if he is not at home yet, they should say, Dad hasn't come yet. We are expecting him to come in a moment. Okay, so here we have a short exercise. I want you to fill in the blanks with for, since, just, already, and of course, yet. You have to read the sentence and be careful. My son went to the supermarket, but he hasn't come back yet. I'm waiting for him to come. He should be at home at any time. Leonard has made his bed. It is still tidy and organized, which means the action of making the bed is still new. So it's an action that has just happened. So Leonard has just made his bed. It is still tidy. Miriam has lived in Morocco. She was 10 years old. So when she was 10, she came to Morocco, and she is still. It's an action that started in the past and still goes on. So we need since. Since that time, she lived in Morocco. So we have met the new teacher at high school. He is a nice person. If you can say that a person is nice, it means you have already met the person. So you have had this experience of talking to him and knowing his personality. So we have already met the new teacher. So the waiter has bought has bought some coffee. It is still hot. Is it a long time that the waiter bought some or brought some coffee to us? Is it long time ago or new experience? If the coffee is still hot, it means that the action has just happened, not long time ago. Have they visited London yet? Have they visited this place yet? No, they haven't yet been there. Remember, yet can be used for asking a question and saying in the negative sentence, you say that an action hasn't happened yet, which is supposed to happen at any time. Has the girl lived in France 5 years? 5 years, a period of time. So we say 4 or 5 years. Yes, she arrived here 5 years ago. Be careful with that verb. She arrived when? 5 years ago. That's why the verb arrived is in the past simple. The plane has flown 12 hours. 12 hours is another period of time. So which word should be followed by a period of time? It is 4. The businessman has worked in the same office. He was 25 years old. So since that age and up to now, he's working in the same office. Number 10, there have been many accidents on this road last year. Of course, the person would like to say that starting from last year up to the time of speaking, there have been a lot of accidents. So he's not saying that the accident happened last year and finished. No, he's connecting last year to the present time. So that's why we need since. John has performed the same play a long time. So for a long time, because a long time is a period of time. The woman has sold her car. Now she drives a new one. Did she sell her old car? Of course, yes, because she's driving a new one. Do we know when she sold the car? Of course, we can't say. So this action of selling the car has already happened. 13, I have known my best friend. We were at primary school. So we know each other today. We are best friends. What was the first time we met? We were at high school. So since that time up to now, we have been best friends. Let's move on to a next exercise. We have some dialogues A and B. I would like you to ask the question and to give the answer. Of course, if you're watching this at home, you can pause the video and then you can prepare the exercise and go back and you can correct. Okay, how long you be in Africa? How long you be in Africa? The question should be, how long have you been in Africa? How long have you been in Africa? The answer should be, I have been there for 3 years. I've been there for 3 years. And probably the person is still in Africa. How long he live in Berlin? Remember, he takes the singular auxiliary. So how long has he lived in Berlin? The answer should be, so here we have a specific time. So the best word you can use is since. You cannot say for. No one can live in a place for 2002 years. It's impossible. So you can say he has lived in this house or there or in Berlin since 2000. Since 2000. How long she wear that coat? How long she wear that coat? We should say, how long has she worn that coat? And the answer should be, she has worn that coat since last summer. She has worn the coat since last summer. The last sentence in this exercise, where you be today? Where you be today? Where, of course, where have you been today? You can say, I have been at the hospital. I have been at the hospital. So thank you very much for watching the lesson and I hope everything is clear.